Hello there, gods and beautiful goddesses of your reality. Welcome back. This is Manifest with Jenny and Nutritious Lives. So today, as you can see, I've got a wonderful, beautiful, amazing guest of mine, my beautiful friend Kathryn. I'm going to pass the baton over to Kathryn because I'm not going to butcher what she does and her wonderful growing company empire.
My empire. World domination is on the cards.
This is it, my darling.
Well, thank you. That was a wonderful introduction. For those that don't know me, I'm Kathryn, also known as the Brum Travel Mum and Dream Holidays and Escapes on Facebook. I curate wonderful holidays for people, for families and for single mums and for solo female travellers.
Wow, and I highly recommend Kathryn's company. She does an amazing job. I am slightly biased, but you are amazing, my
I
darling.
do my very best, it's important to me.
I know, you're an all-rounder, aren't you?
That's it.
And this brings us on to what we're actually going to talk about today, being an all-rounder that you are, my darling, and I try my hardest to be also. But I'm going to pose a big question to you today.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
I know. Prep yourself. What do women want?
What do women want?
Talk about a big one.
It's a big one, isn't
Where
it?
are we going to start with this?
We should start with what this woman wants.
Well, yeah, but I do actually think we aren't identical. We're very unique. But I think there are similarities in what we want. There's certain things that I think most women actually want. I think it's, you know, if we could go into sort of detail with regards to energies and where we fall with energies, with our masculine and our feminine energies and all the rest of it. But I do actually think, as a general rule, women do actually like certain things, you know, that we like to be provided for in our environment, such as straightness.
Hair straighteners, we were talking about this. It's a very simple thing. So as a mother of two daughters, and I co-parent, so my children are with me the majority of the time. I'm very lucky. But as an example, my children's father came to pick up their stuff yesterday, and I thought I'll just make sure they've got everything in there. And what did I find? Lo and behold, my GHD hair straighteners.
No.
But they're not called my hair straighteners anymore, Jen. They are the hair straighteners. They belong to the household.
Oh.
When did this happen?
I know. This is the thing, and this is why it's so important that we have our little stuff, even if it's just a little section, right, Bab? So we can go back, like you were saying. I just want my bubbles there. I just want to go back to everything being right there.
Exactly. But it's hair straighteners, lip liners, kohl eyeliners, underwear. Not like you know, like fancy bras. Put it that way.
Yeah.
And ladies like our fancy underwear, don't we?
Yes, we do. And I mean, GHD straighteners now, they're like gold dust.
I know.
You know, I mean, I had my straighteners. I no longer have my straighteners. You know, when she said this to me on the voice note, right, Bab, as we do, and I was like, oh my God, I totally understand this. I've had my GHD straighteners since I was probably about 18, I'd say, and I've had them all though, but they're not mine anymore.
They're not yours anymore.
They're not mine.
No, I think this is my second pair of hair straighteners, and I don't use them that much, but they're there if I need them, because, you know, I don't actually go out that much. Today's a little bit different. We're going raving. Which is why I needed the hair straighteners.
This mother, this strong female businesswoman, and also ravers with heels on.
Trainers today, I'm afraid. Trainers. Back to the old school.
Yes, even better. I think I'd be showing my age there, babe, because I'd be trying to rock these like mommy heels.
I know.
Like, no.
I did try my dress on earlier, and I've got my shoes and I've got my trainers. But I was at my allotment yesterday putting my potatoes in.
Allotment.
So I'm digging the ground, so my back's a little bit sore already, and I'm like, and it's an old person rave. It's a day rave, right? So it's 3 p.m. till 11 o'clock. And I'm like, can I wear my heels for that long?
Yeah.
And it's got to be a flat no. I can't. If I want to enjoy myself.
could we not, this is all very prevalent and relevant to what we're talking about. Could we not put them in a bag, or is that just taking stuff around?
Carry a bag, isn't it? Do I take a coat? What am I going to do with my phone? I don't want a bag. I want to dance. And this is the thing, I'm meeting friends in there, and sometimes if you go with your boyfriend or stuff like that, you can get him to hold your stuff.
It's true.
This is what women want.
Except in my experiences, mostly my bloke's gone, can you put that in your bag?
Or can you put my keys in your bag?
Yeah, and it's like exploding with stuff.
You're carrying it around.
So it's a lovely idea, that is, babe, but I don't know.
What is the smallest bag I can take? Because I need my phone. Yeah. Maybe a spray, some lipstick.
Yeah. And the thing is, after, we can do this. This is what women want, right? But when the kids were little, and I remember thinking, I can't wait to not take around stuff.
The baby changing bag.
The stuff.
The clothes, the bottles, the wipes, the nappies.
Yeah. And then
it goes on for years.
Oh, it does. And I'm like, I remember thinking at some point I'm going to be able to take off some of this stuff.
What is the benefit though when you've got a pushchair? You can put the stuff on the pushchair.
Yeah.
And then when they're not in the pushchair and they want to walk, that's when you've got to carry all the stuff.
I know, it's forever changing. It is, and again, going back to, the original question, it is forever changing what we want, because as we mature, we don't get older, baby. We get more. We get really fine wine.
Fine wine. We mature.
Are you going to be drinking fine wine today?
No. Well, I'm on day 27 of a 30-day alcohol-free challenge.
Wow, that's amazing.
I'm feeling really good.
Great.
And I think I might see if I can do 60 days.
Yeah.
So for my birthday this year, I gave my body the gift of no alcohol for 30 days.
See, and this is what being maturing like a fine wine, but without drinking the fine wine. This is what it does.
To be fair, I've drank enough fine wine to last a couple of lifetimes.
Yeah, me too, Bab. Me too. But I am going to Spain on Thursday.
When in Spain?
Well, this is it. Have a bit of vino blanco, as I usually do, and sort of have a cry about it on a video the next day, no doubt. But so let's go back to the big ones. We've done the bags, we've done the shoes and the clothes. Well, we ain't done the clothes yet. That's for another one. That's
another one.
But what do you feel like fundamentally we want as women?
I think we want to feel secure. We want to feel understood.
Yeah.
And I think for me, it's, sometimes you have a problem or you just need to get something off your chest. Sometimes we don't need a solution, we just need somebody to listen.
Yeah.
And I think, that's probably where men and women are different, because men are very much problem solvers. You're bringing me the problem, I want to solve it for you. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I just want to get it off my chest.
That's right.
That's
right. And I said to my SP lately, and I think things are resonating more as our relationship progresses on. But I just said to him, and I think sometimes it's the way that we say it as females. Maybe we do the and it comes out in a way that we don't actually want. But I consciously use words to him of, I don't want you to fix me. I just want you to hold me.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes males need that the instructions with as least amount of emotion in as possible.
Yeah.
It's like a language that they understand. I think when we go in, because we've took things or we've let things build up, it's kind of like a little bit of a female thing, isn't it? Where we just take things and then it comes out with and then they're kind of like, I don't know what to do with this right now.
How can I make it better?
Fix this?
Got some chocolate, a cake.
Yeah, that's right. And if it is around the period, it's usually like, give me that cake that's going straight in your face.
Have you eaten today?
Yeah.
Like you would do with a child. What have you eaten? Are you maybe hungry?
Yeah, that's right. And we, as females, we do find that extremely patronising, which makes it go up a notch.
Yeah. Calm down.
Oh yeah. Is it because you're on your period?
Is it that time of the month?
Oh,
and with perimenopause creeping in, is that time of life?
Yes, I am constantly having conversations with females our age now. Mid-30s our age, babe.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I think safety is really an important one as well, because I feel like society, you know, I'm not going to use the word so fast paced, because it is fast paced, but it's not just that. It's the fact that I feel like as a role as a mother, as a, you know, a friend, as a building a business, all these pressures, you know, we are stripped of our safety. This has been predominantly the feeling that I've felt. So when I'm in a relationship or when I'm dating, and when I'm looking for a partner, I'm looking for safety. You know, I want calm, I want peace, I want tranquility. I don't want drama like maybe I would have done when I was like 19, 20.
The excitement of it all.
The excitement, the bit of the bad boy, the rush, you know. I feel like it's a natural thing at that age, but it certainly isn't what I want at mid.
No, we want the danger and the excitement in youth because it's all new, and then as we get older, we're like, that security, that peace of mind, calmness as well, I think is really important.
Yeah. And how do you sort of provide this with your company, and what's your sort of ethos with aligning your feelings of wanting that tranquility? Because I'm sure that you bring that into a holiday when you're searching for families, couples, single women.
Yeah, and I think it's really important for everybody going away to feel safe and secure, unless you're the type of traveller, you know, you want that outward bound danger, risk experience. If I'm talking about my clients, my female solo travellers, they want to go somewhere safe, they want everything to be, you know, planned out and arranged. This is the majority of cases. There are always the exceptions of people that are just like, book me a ticket, I'm off. But for me personally, things like kind of door security, and I'm going to be doing a video about this, like little gadgets that you can put on the back of hotel doors to make sure that people can't get in if you're there with your children, you know. So if I take my children away, there's just me and them there, 11 and 13, and I've been taking them away since they were kind of toddlers in the UK and now abroad, but it is constantly playing on your mind, are the doors locked, who can get in, especially when you're in hotels, because you don't know who has keys. So just kind of making your personal environment safe and secure, making travel arrangements as smooth and as stress-free as possible, because some people get really anxious going to the airport, where do I go? You know, give yourself plenty of time, don't rush, everything is signposted, but it's quite easy once you feel a little bit anxious to kind of just get more and more worked up. So I see it as part of my role to provide that level of assurance and comfort, and if you've got any problems, phone me up, I can help you.
And this is exactly because obviously we'll be talking about, because I'll be taking the children away this year, and of course, you know, I will be consulting with you with this, my darling. You'll be helping me and finding me the most amazing deal, no doubt. But this mirroring exactly what I want, because I've never taken the children out the country on my own, and I want safety again, like just like having a relationship, you know. This is the sort of stuff that I want to hear, and I think, you know, that it makes sense for, because most mums will just not do it. They won't venture because they feel like they've got no support, no one helping them in that department. And so, you know, for me, that's security that I need. We've got no problem solvers, none of the men around me taking my teenager and my 10-year-old. So, you know, it's important, isn't it?
It is, you know. And just as like a little example, after my dad died, we went on holiday with my mum, and she, you know, was almost like a dependent to me, because I had to have all the passports and all the tickets, because my dad had always done it. So things like checking into the hotel, where do we go, what do we need, you know, some people just need like a run through, nice and calm, it will be okay, there's nothing to go wrong. Pre-planning is key, and just kind of reassurance. And we don't need to start with, you know, going to Australia, you know, it can just be 2 nights away in Wales or Devon or something like that. To that's what I started to do. We went on holidays in the UK just to kind of build up my confidence.
Yeah.
And the first time I went, I remember sitting there after the children had gone to bed, and I was like quite emotional. I was like, I'm actually doing it.
Yeah.
And it was hard. Don't get me wrong, because they were a 3 and 1.
Yeah.
And you take all the stuff with you that you need.
Yeah.
And it was hard work, but it was definitely worth it, and it gave me so much confidence as a woman and as a mother. And I think people think as well, that the holiday's going to be perfect. Well, you've got to realise that when you've got children, it's just going to be like it is at home.
Yeah.
But you're not at home, so you need to kind of plan for those things and not let it ruin your experience.
Yeah. Because I think it's just natural, what I talk about from the manifesting side of things. Our ego always takes us down that rabbit hole. We always anticipate the worst case scenario initially, unless you really on your journey. And whereas I know to flip it and create the best case scenario.
Yeah.
But the thought of you helping me, which you are going to, and the nature of thyself, of me, I need that little bit of nurturing. I kind of need that little counsellor down the front saying it'll be okay, Jen. From a mother's perspective, because we don't need, when we're doing anything new like that, that's a big thing with our children, we don't need that hard, like, just get it done, just do it. But it kind of makes us go into our shell. So the fact that it's almost like you're providing a dual service, where you're being like mommy nurturer as well as obviously getting the job done and being efficient with finding these beautiful holidays. It's a tick, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think for me that's where I get the most job satisfaction, is when people come back and they're like, oh Kat, we've had a great time, the children have had an amazing time, we've made such incredible memories, there was this, there was that, but you know what, we got through it.
Yeah.
And that's just, it's worth more than all the money in the world, that kind of, to be part of helping somebody create those memories that will last a lifetime.
Yeah, exactly. You're sharing it with them, and that, and having gratitude, and again, from a manifesting perspective, I manifest through other people's eyes. When I want something, when I want to manifest something in my life, I listen to the person who has it, and then I actually deduce from their energy of, that's mine, I'm going to have that. So for you, it's a win-win scenario then as well, because you're creating more of that. Because the reason why you got into this as well, baby, is because you love to travel, don't you?
I love it. I love it. And that is kind of my plan, my ambition. I haven't got a day job. I work in financial services, which is great, pays the bills.
Of course she does.
But I've been in my role for 17 years, so it's, nice to do something different. I spend all day sending emails, which is fine, I get paid for it, but you don't get the satisfaction of actually helping somebody. Anyone could go onto the internet and book a holiday. It's really easy to do, but it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money for solo parents, men and women alike. And for me, I think if you're going to spend that money, and it's not going to cost anybody any more to come to me, hopefully it should be less. And from before, during and after their holiday, just somebody that they can pick up the phone to, because we all know how difficult it is trying to talk to these faceless corporates. You're on a call, or you've got to do a chat bot on the internet. So it probably is going back in time a little bit, providing that personal
music
service
to our ears, babe. We need it's a necessity. It is for me. I always want to pick up the phone and actually speak to a human. And I think again, this is all part of where we're going, why people are so frustrated. So it's a very personalised service, and hopefully, going back to on a girly note, my beautiful friend has suggested a few little destinations for us in the future that I'm secretly, don't tell her, manifesting.
Put it out there to the universe.
That's right. Look, I'm on the squiggle with this again. Well, my darling, what time are we on? Have we got the time? Because we are actually going to do a TikTok live now. So I don't know whether we got much chance. Did we get to the bottom of what women want? I think we just touched on the surface.
It's such a wide subject, isn't it?
It is. But we can always do part 2, part 3, part 4 if necessary.
Yeah,
we definitely need to know how the rave went.
Yeah,
right.
And ladies out there, tell us what you want. Is it the same as us?
Yeah,
because we're all different and we all want different things.
Of course, and that's what makes the world go round. And you know, when I'm doing these lives or when I'm talking to my clients, I really stress this to say, you know, this is me, this is what I want. I mean, me and you have built a friendship, so we've built our, you know, our mutual understanding through having a similar viewpoint because we're friends. But you know, whatever you want to manifest, it's same with the holiday. You know, whatever you may want to jump out of a plane and going to do safari. Personally, it wouldn't be right, you know, jumping out of a plane and then going right into safari would be a bit adventurous for me.
Yeah.
I'd like to do part of it and then part on the beach. Is there something, is there any magic?
We can do it that way. I mean, I've done a safari and I've jumped out of a plane.
Oh my good God. Of course you would have.
This is pre-children. If anybody's interested in skydiving, 15,000 feet.
We never planned this out, by the way.
Like Taupo in New Zealand for my 30th birthday, you know, last year.
Of course, last year.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we did touch on, you know, there's the traditional gender roles and then there's the feminist view of what women want. Yeah. And I think I'm a little bit more traditional because I do believe in gender roles. I don't want to have to do everything, but as a solo parent,
you've been almost forced upon, and then you need to adjust your lifestyle and your viewpoints around sort of that lack of choice in that way, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you know, as friends as well, we do work and we talk about this, and this is what we can do as friends, as humans together, is uncover each other's blockages and see if you as females, which we should be real nurturers to each other, especially to our women, we can identify each other's weaknesses to make them strengths.
Yes.
You know, I would ideally like to think that every female allows that with the, you know, being in a group of women. This is what we should be going back to. I believe that we've gone away from that a lot. So I'll, you know, that's a vision of mine, but we certainly do this, don't we, babe? You know, we give each other a lot of positivity.
Yes. And softness, positivity, softness, femininity.
Yeah.
Because, you know, when you're up every day working, you're the breadwinner, the gardener, the maid, the housekeeper, the mother, the father, all of those roles, you know, we've spoken about we are feminine, but you have to stand in that masculine space when you're providing all of that. So it's nice to have the opportunity to come back into ourselves as women. You know, and we've spoken about kind of retreats and wellness and things like that, haven't we?
Coming back into our body, you know.
Connecting with our female bodies.
And you know, we talk a lot about things that are very good for our body with herbs, with spices, with good water. You know, we love good water, don't we, babe? Yeah. And so these are the basic things. But I believe that we need to work with the mind as well as working with physical things, putting it in our body, but definitely getting out more in nature. I mean, this is something that me and you could maybe think about. I'd love to do a cottage with a hot tub. Do you think you could work your magic on that?
I could sort that out for us, my darling. Some rolling hills in the background. And we've spoken about doing some walks, haven't we? Some networking walks.
Yes, that's
right.
Networking. So watch this space. There's lots of things that in the pipeline, but definitely watch this space for me and my beautiful cat doing our networking. So we sort of deep in thought with that one at the minute.
We've got so many plans, haven't we?
Yeah, but we'll let you get over your rave first, though. Not today, right, darling?
I might not be good for walking tomorrow.
Mind you will have trainers on, won't you?
I will have my trainers on. It's the old back. Unfortunately, I had a couple of back surgeries. But you know, we've got paracetamol to deal with that the day after, haven't we?
Of course we have, Pam. course. Right, on that note, we're going to love and leave you because I don't know whether we're on time to do we said 1:30, didn't we? Mm-hmm. So we're sending you lots of love, and please stay tuned for part 2 of this, which will be coming up very soon, and the weather's going to change, so maybe we may go into the garden.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I might even have a glass of vino blanco.
Oh, might you?
I don't know whether you will, my darling.
Well, I'm into orange juice at the moment.
I'm such a bad influence.
Right. We will see.
We will see. When the sun comes out, it all changes. Anyway, sending you lots of love. We will see you again. Thank you for having us. It's been amazing. See you in the next one. Bye. That was good.
Hey,